Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to episode 27 of the DGA podcast. I am your host, and with me is my co-host,
Ida Lee.
Ida Lee. Hello, she looks lovely today.
AKA Nev, AKA Pony, AKA, oh my gosh.
You've got so many AKAs at this point.
Yeah.
Alright, so what are we going to be talking about today? Well, this sound clip may clue you in.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports, it's in the game. I actually have a sound clip that is 2.5 minutes long of the commentator explaining how to say EA Sports. I don't want to play it because it's 2.5 minutes long. Unless you're really interested and curious, hun, I'll be happy to play it, but...
Can you play like 30 seconds of it?
Alright, hold on.
Maybe 15?
My name is Andrew Anthony, and I am the voice of EA Sports. Today I have been asked to conduct a short tutorial on the correct pronunciation, inflection, intonation, and delivery of the line EA Sports. Now I know you've got a lot to cover today, so I'll keep this short. First, and probably most important, is volume. EA Sports is not something to be delivered lightly. It is firm, it is aggressive, it is your guts hurtling through the air as you growl like a hungry dog on a T-bone. As an exercise, please turn to the person behind you and scream, "I want your job," 3 times, just as loud as you can. The second most important thing is inflection. It is EA Sports, not EA Sports, not EA Sports, and sure as hell not EA Sports. No, my friends, there is only one true inflection. Capital E, capital A, capital Sports. After all, it's not USA and it's not USA. It's USA and it's EA Sports. Thirdly, pronunciation. A seemingly simple thing, really. After all, it's 8 measly letters. EA Sports. What's so hard about that? And yet you'd be surprised at what we've come across in our travels. For instance, the English version. Yeah, right then. EA Sports, right? The Middle Eastern version, oh my god, EA Sports. The Canadian version, EA Sports, A. The dyslexic version, AE Sports. The punk version, EA. Screw it. And the mime version. Lastly, and by no means do we mean
This
least
goes
important,
on for another minute.
attitude.
I'll go ahead and turn
This
it
is
off.
a company
that is hilarious.
Yes.
I have to hear that on my off time. That is so funny.
Yeah, so I know that was kind of long, apologies, but that sort of sets the tone for what we're in for today. We're going to be talking about sports. There's no list. So the topic really is our first introduction to sports games. So I was thinking to myself, I'm not very athletic. In fact, when I was growing up, my parents... I actually tried out for the basketball team at one point, and it was at that moment that my parents were like, "Okay, he's destined for great things, but it's not sports." They didn't say that, but the look on their face, they were supportive. I appreciate that, but that's why I joined the chess club. I'm just saying.
So funny.
So, yeah. So I was thinking, okay, so where did I first learn about sports? How did I learn sports? And I was thinking to myself, a lot of the ways I learned sports was through video games. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so maybe we can talk about games that introduced us to sports in general. Because nowadays people talk about football and, so-and-so had 3 RBIs in 2002. I could give a crap less about that. I could care less, but... And it's weird because people give people guff about playing games, like video games, but then they sit there and watch sports. I'm like, well, how is that any different? You're watching something that you have no control over in front of a tube. You're doing the same thing we're doing, except with video game people, we're actually interacting with what we're playing with. So we've got to step up over sports, I'm just saying. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So the topic for this week is games that introduced us to sports. There's no top 5 list or nothing like that. I was thinking about it in my head. I'm like, well, if we do a top 5, we're going to be rating sports at that point. How do we possibly rate, how do we put baseball in front of football as number 2? And I'm like, no. So rather than rate sports, we're just going to go through a list of sports and talk about the games that introduced us to that particular sport. Okay? Make sense? Still with us, folks? Okay, great. Glad to hear it. All right, all three of you are still listening. All right, so I want you, hun, and everyone else in the audience, to close your eyes. And I want you to identify this sport based on the sound clip that I'm about to play. This is going to be a very, very sound clip heavy, very nostalgia heavy. This is just two people, old people, talking about old games, really. So enjoy. But anyway, think about a sport. Okay, here we go. Tell me what sport this is.
Okay.
Are you done? Are you tapping out at this point?
It's very hard to hear.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds like Yoshi.
Okay, fair enough. It sounds like if 10 people tried calling you via their fax machine. Just saying. You know that squeal sound that is made whenever someone calls you on a fax? That's what that sounds like, but imagine 10 of those overlapping each other. That's what this sounds like. But, do you have a guess as to what sport we're about to talk about?
Zelda. I don't know.
Zelda. That is a great sport,
right?
Zelda. Yes, that is a beautiful sport. I love Zelda. Every time I go outside and play in my childhood, it was because of Zelda. Yeah, the sport Zelda. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead then and jump right into. I have like 13.
Is it hockey?
It is not hockey, but
Dang.
you have a limited. Yeah, there's only so many sports we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know.
So you have a good guess. It's golf.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, golf. This is golf. This is golf. Specifically, what you're hearing is Greg Norman's golf. I couldn't find sound effects for Jack Nicklaus golf. So I grew up with, I think there was golf on Atari, but I didn't own it. My first golf game was just Golf for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It looked like an adult Mario playing golf. Okay, and then later I got into games like Jack Nicklaus Golf. Later down the line, I got into some other ones. Let me pull up my spreadsheet real quick. Okay, so Jack Nicklaus Golf was NES 1988. Then later, what really got me into it was Hot Shots Golf 3. Do you happen to remember that title, Hot Shots Golf?
I've never played a golf.
Hot Shots
game.
Golf is amazing. The characters each had their own unique thing about them. They even had their own taglines and catch lines. For example, this one guy would go, every time you hit the ball good, he'd go, cream cheese, or something like that. It's fantastic. Hot Shots Golf 3 was for the PS2, and that was 2001. And then later on, the Golf Club was PC 2014, and Golf with Your Friends PC 2016, roughly. Golf with Your Friends you've played. That's a miniature golf game that is very multiplayer based.
It's pretty modern.
Now, you don't have any. Do you have any golf game memories that you can remember? Like, do you recall?
The only time that I've ever played golf was with my friends mini golfing, and I was about 17 the first time I did it.
Okay. Now, in real life, or are we talking on video game?
That was real life.
Oh, real life.
I've never played a golf game.
Really?
When I was younger.
No golf game.
No.
I did go pitch and putt, which is like 80-yard, 90-yard holes. My dad would take us to Scally's golf course in Pennsylvania, and we would play there. And at that place was an arcade machine. Do you remember those old arcade machines with the ball, and you had to roll it
yes,
with your thumb?
I think so.
Instead
like
of a pad, it was
Centipede?
Centipede. Yeah, bowling was another one popular, but yeah, it was a trackball that you rolled with your thumb. It was huge.
My mom destroyed on that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated
All you
those.
see is like.
Really? I'm surprised. I didn't know your mom was video game
She
inclined.
loved Centipede. Centipede was her thing. In the arcades, she would spend all her quarters and just play Centipede all day.
That's awesome.
With the trackball.
I hated the trackball because I don't know
Oh.
why, but youth me would leave my thumb on the ball to the point where it would get stuck on the top, like where the plastic met the ball. Like imagine the flat surface and the ball inside of it. And then when you used your thumb to wheel it or whatever it is to push it, my thumb would get caught, like in an escalator where you get your foot stuck or your sock or shoe stuck in that little, that's what happened to my thumb all the time. I don't know why.
Oh, man.
I don't know if my reflexes were poor back then or what. They're still bad now. But anyway, that's why I'm not in professional basketball, folks. Anyway. So golf. We're not going to talk a whole lot about that since you didn't get into that. We've got a lot of sports to cover anyway. So anything else to say about golf? I get frustrated with golf. I played a lot of golf games. It's also one of the biggest reasons that I spiked my NES controller into the ground. Just because like the golf games that I played as a kid, imagine, you're doing perfectly. Around 12th, 13th hole, you got a birdie or a par on every one. You're like, yeah, I'm doing great. And then you get to one hole that messes everything up. You're in the water. You get like 13 plus over par for the one hole, and it screws up your entire score. Imagine someone cutting the power to your game just as you're at the final boss. You know what I mean? That's the kind of feeling you get when you play a golf game and something doesn't go right. Unless you've got that perfect run, you're going to get frustrated and just rage quit. And that's how I was with golf games in general. Hot Shots Golf, on the other hand, was a bit different. It's more casual. You can unlock characters. Lots of fun. Anyway.
My dad used to watch golf on TV a lot.
Really?
But I could never get into it. It was just so boring to me, like every other sport. Like, I'm sorry to all
it's
the
fine.
fans.
I didn't. There weren't a lot of sports in my TV household. It was when my parents divorced when I was young. I mean, like my dad wasn't really a sports person. He would put Star Trek on. That's why I'm a big Star Trek fan now. The only sports that I saw was every Sunday we would go over to my grandfather's house, and we have a big. My grandmother would cook spaghetti and meatballs, and on TV there'd either be jazz or sports. My grandfather was big on jazz, big on sports, so he would watch that. But anyway, so that's our golf talk, I guess. So my entry there is NES golf, and then eventually things like Jack Nicklaus golf, and then Hot Shots golf, and then more modern we've got the golf with your friends stuff. I have not tried the latest like 2K21 golf PGA Tour stuff. I've not played that. I kind of want to just to see what it's like. But anyway, so moving on. Again, this is going to be a little quiz heavy. We're going to go ahead and play another sound clip, and I want you to see if you can identify the sport and then possibly even the name of the game. That's like super bonus points. But here we go. This one. Same game.
I'm gonna say Pong.
Pong. Great. Or
Football.
well, it is football. You only have so many guesses when it comes to sports, but good one. What made you think football? Was it just a wild guess?
I heard like the boom, 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 and I'm like, I don't know, it sounds like a football.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, the sound that you're hearing is from Tecmo Bowl. The latter sound clip was from Super Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
I learned football from Tecmo Bowl mainly. I had some other NES games. Tecmo Bowl was an NES game released 1987-ish. Other games I had for that system, Mutant Football League was 1993. That game was ridiculous. In fact, I have a clip. I forgot to play that. That's very Sega Genesis-y. That's Sega Genesis right there. That's yeah. Everything is metallic sounding. But anyway, so Tecmo Bowl was pretty awesome as far as football games go. It helped me to learn, oh, what's fourth down? Oh, wait, why do they have the ball now? Oh, I only have 4 downs to do the thing, to get across the line first, whatever. So, yeah, and also I learned from Tecmo Bowl was that Bo Jackson could do no wrong. He could do everything. If you played as Bo Jackson, you immediately won. I mean, that's just how it was. If I remember right, Bo Jackson played both football and baseball. He was one of those sports people that did almost everything. And then,
Oh no, go ahead.
No, yeah, no, go ahead. What else do you got about Bo Jackson? Anything?
I was gonna say that I remember my cousin lending me Tecmo. I think it was Tecmo. That picture is Tecmo Super Bowl, right?
This is Tecmo Bowl. This is Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Super Tecmo Bowl was roughly the same look. It was side scrolling. But yeah, same game, but Super Tecmo Bowl was miles better.
I remember when my cousin lent it to me and I was playing it in my room. I remember being 10 years old and my dad comes in and he's actually teaching me like what everything was because he loves football. Oh my gosh, he's a huge sports fanatic. And he's trying to teach me and I'm just like trying to play and I couldn't get it. Like I didn't get football. So about months later, I got it again. And I tried playing it again, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just like, yeah, I'm never touching this ever again. So that was it.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm glad that it's a cool way to bond with your family. That's Mutant League football here that you're seeing on the screen. That is a casual football game, but very gruesome. There are minefields on the surface. Various things that could blow up your people. You can kill the ref. You can bribe the ref. Like it's a crazy adult themed gory football game. It's just but yeah, Mutant League football is awesome. I think that was also NES, possibly 1993. Yeah. I also got into a game called NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz was PS2 era, 1997-ish. I played a lot of games. I played a lot of football games, but I typically don't care to watch the sport. I never played Madden though. I was more into the arcade style football games rather than the hardcore realistic football games, if that makes any sense. Like the NBA Jam of football. I was more into those kind of games. You know what I mean? We'll talk about NBA Jam in a little bit. But any other football games? Did you play any football games as a kid? No? Okay. All right, that's fine. We've got other topics to cover, but yeah, primarily, I have not played a football game since. Most of my time was Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl. I had a couple of other, like John Elway's football for the NES. I had, again, a lot of these arcadey football style games, but nothing Madden-wise. So, okay. Let's move on to, let's see if you can identify this sport and possibly the game. No? Mario. I bet you'll get, yeah, Mario. I'll bet you get it now. Alright, how about this one then?
Boom shakalaka!
Oh, NBA Jam?
Yes, NBA basketball. Very good.
That's all I got.
That's the team select screen that you're hearing right now.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yes, NBA Jam. First of all, the first game, that is a game called Double Dribble. Double Dribble. Whenever the menu popped up, some announcer, double dribble. That's it. It was anyway. So Double Dribble was the first game that I really learned basketball on, and then there was, I think, Larry versus Bird for the NES as well. Double Dribble was NES 1986. I'm going to assume that Larry versus Bird was also around the same time.
Larry versus Bird? Isn't it Larry Bird?
Oh, I'm sorry. Larry Bird, Jordan versus Bird is what I meant to say. Yeah, Larry versus Bird. Some guy named Larry versus Big Bird. It was a great basketball game. Big Bird always won because he's 10 feet tall.
It's like,
yeah.
it's like dads versus gaming addiction.
Yes, Vince versus DGA. Oh, wait. Yes. So, yeah, Double Dribble. I first played basketball then. There was basketball for the Atari 2600, but I did not own it. But NES, Double Dribble, Larry versus Bird. Here we go again. Jordan versus Bird for the NES. I got to get away from that game. All I remember from that game was whenever you did your block, your guy would shake. His hands would go up and shake. Like, it was funny. Anyway, that's the only thing I remember about that game. It was a one-on-one basketball game. But what really got me into this game really was NBA Jam. I think that's a very common one amongst everybody. Any comments about NBA Jam?
I remember playing this a lot with my cousin. We were so young. And I loved the way the ball looked for some reason. I thought it was like really smooth.
Really?
I don't know why. That's what I really remember the most.
Did you
about
play?
This game,
Did you play it on Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
Super Nintendo.
Okay, because it was on both around, I think, 1994 ish. But yeah, this game I loved, even though it's 2v2. I mean, real basketball is what, 5v5. Even though this is 2v2, it was a heck of a lot of fun, very arcade. Again, I tend to gravitate toward the casual stuff. I think what interested me in this game was just how fun it was. The fact that you could, if you kept making baskets, your guy would get on fire, and then you could shoot baskets from all the way across the court and still make it. It was amazing.
I have a funny story. Every time, it was so easy to make 3 points in this game. So easy. And my cousin and I, we always said, okay, the person who has the ball first, who steals it, they're just gonna win. So I remember for like a few days, I was just making 3 points after 3 points, and I loved the fire, like the basketball actually getting on fire. And I remember him going, okay, I'm done. And then a few hours later, we played again, and when he steals the ball, he starts making, all these baskets, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So it was just such a silly game.
It is silly, and I love that you can push people in that game and not get penalized for it. Like, you just push them, and they fly across the court, you get the ball. And then you go up the court and you shoot the ball and
he's on fire.
You're on fire. It's great.
Yeah.
Or if you throw up a completely missed shot.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Boom shakalaka.
That's what I remember.
Boom shakalaka.
And then he's on fire. But I remember playing one other basketball game. I touched it once and that was it. But NBA Jam was the only basketball game I spent time on. So
yeah, NBA Jam was really the only one I played a lot of. I did have other basketball games, but I didn't really play them as much. They just weren't as much fun. I nowadays, more modern, there's NBA Street, I think. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it does feel like NBA Jam a little bit. I do own it, so if you want to give it a try, it is kind of similar to NBA Jam. It's more arcadey than realistic. So anyway. So anything else about basketball before we move on to our next one?
No.
Okay. What do we got here? Okay. Let me go ahead and play another clip and let's see if you can identify what it is. Oh, sorry. All right. How about this one? Hard to hear, isn't it?
Yeah, I only hear it when you start talking a little bit.
That's weird. I have my Discord sensitivity all the way to the bottom, so it should pick up. But yeah, there's a weird disconnect between sound pad in Discord. Anyway, so for the folks at home that were listening, I'll just go ahead and play this other one. This is a game that is sort of near and dear to my heart. It is Blades of Steel. And that's actually the behind me. That's the game. Oh. Blades of Steel it was on the NES. It was hockey. This is where I first learned hockey. I had a friend next door. His name was Jason, and he was older than me actually, but he was super nice. One of the nicest kids that you'll ever meet. He's a teacher now, I think. Anyway, he was big on hockey, street hockey mainly, and we actually played street hockey. But he had this game, Blades of Steel, 1987, for the NES, and it was the first time that I've ever played hockey, and we would spend hours playing this game together. It was loads of fun. It was side-scrolling. You could get into fights in this game, and it was pretty funny. You run into each other 3 times. Like if you run into someone, you knock them down. But if you run into each other at the same speed, you bounce off each other. But if you do it 3 times in succession, then you get into a fight. And there you there's a little mini game where you can throw a high punch, a low punch, or you can block. And you just have to hit the other guy 5 times to knock him down. And the loser of that fight went into the penalty box. It wasn't both players went into the penalty box for fighting. It was just the one player that lost went into the So one of the strategies in this game was pick fights, win fights, and then reduce your enemy's team's numbers to like 2 or 3, and then just get goals anyway. Great game. There was even a mini game in the halftime show. Again, I kind of played that clip, but there was 2 halftime game shows, one of which was just fluff to look at. The other one was a mini game. It was it's sort of like a Galaga. You're a spaceship and you're shooting the boss. You had 20 seconds to blow up the boss, and then whether or not you won or lost, it would move on to the next fluffy cutscene, whatever, for the halftime show. Really cool. It was neat. After that, I played a lot of NHL hockey 93, 94, and that's what I'm showing here. As another story, my family, my dad's side, my stepmother, I guess I should just say, her family, introduced me to this game. They're big on hockey. And I went over their house one time, and they were playing this. I'm like, what is this? This is really cool. And they showed me the game, and I was playing it, and I got hooked. And then I got a Sega Genesis. I ended up getting this game. It's top down. I love the fact that each team had stats, and I've never seen that before. I'm like, wait, teams have stats now? In Nintendo, there wasn't really a stats system. Yeah, I mean, there was kind of, sort of, but I mean, in later games for Super Nintendo and Sega, you actually started seeing stats on screen. And I always played as the Penguins because Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, Kevin Stevens, Ulf Samuelsson, and was it Rick Tocchet? I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, they're still on the Penguins team. I don't even know what they are now. Like, I don't even know who's on the Penguins in today's day and age. I just know that, as far as I know, we've got Tom Barrasso in goalie. We've got Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Kevin Stevens, Ulf Samuelsson, and Rick Tocchet as our people. As far as that was 93, 94. Do you have any hockey memories?
I don't know a lick about hockey, not at all. My dad would watch it once in a while. He was more baseball, basketball, football, sometimes golf. But the only thing I know about hockey is Bruins, Boston Bruins.
Boston, because, well, you're from Massachusetts, so that makes sense.
But I did play a little bit of NHL 94, Hockey 94.
Oh.
There was, I remember just trying to put the puck in the goal. That's it.
There were only 3 buttons on the Sega Genesis controller. And no one ever used A. It was B to pass and C to shoot, and C also did a check, like it boosted you forward and tried to hit the other person. On occasion, if you hit the guy just right, he falls over and blood comes out and he's out of the game. On occasion, if you hit the puck and hit the top of the glass behind the goalie, it would break the glass. Those are the special effects of the Sega Genesis. But another quick, cheap way to win: come at the goalie straight, turn right, and shoot the puck left, and you'd get a goal every time. And they eventually patched that in later NHL versions, but that was a cheap way to win in the earlier NHL hockey versions. Mm-hmm. So not big of a hockey player fan, huh?
I used to go to the arcades quite a bit, and I would see all these sports games, and I would just skip them all. Like I would skip the hockey.
I did too. I gravitated more towards Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat, but yeah, Operation Wolf. But yeah, I guess that Street Fighter 2. By the way, we're not going to talk about karate in this. That's going to be like a future podcast. Maybe we'll talk about fighting games. But anyway, we'll just move right along then to, okay, let's see if you can identify the game based on this. No. No? Okay. So let's just get right into that. That was the theme to Chessmaster for the NES. My first chess game, however, at least digital, was I had a chess game for the Atari, but I didn't play it much. My first real chess game was Battle Chess. It was for the computer and for the NES. And what brought me to this was because the chess pieces were actually lifelike, and every time you captured an enemy piece, there was a cutscene of that piece winning in battle against the other one. I'm like, oh, the knight is attacking the pawn. Cool, now they're fighting. Oh, now the bishop is attacking the rook. Now they're fighting. And it was cool seeing all the different ways the pieces could kill each other. That's why I kept playing that. So I think Chessmaster was, for the NES at least, 1988. Chessmaster was around the same time NES. Also, Chessmaster 9000. This is the game that I would recommend if it would still work on my computer. Chessmaster 9000 was for the PC 2002, so like Windows 3.1-ish. This game was fantastic. There was a long line of Chessmaster games. Chessmaster like 3000, 5000, whatever. 9000 was the best of all the ones I owned. You could set up tournaments, all AI. There was hundreds of ranked AI players, personalities that you can pick between. It was fantastic. It was the chess.com before there was chess.com. You know what I mean? That's how good Chessmaster 9000 was. I want a game like it. Just, there's not a whole lot out there right now. Chess.com does a lot of that stuff now. But I would love a game that does a lot of that.
Chess isn't a sport, though.
It is. Contraire. I looked this up. I said.
I did too.
I looked this up. The Olympics. There was. I was reading that the Olympic blah 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 considered chess a sport because it is a competition between two players and it requires skill, mental skill, whatever. The Olympics deemed it a sport.
They did, but way back in the day, the dictionary, it does not consider chess as a sport because it doesn't give any physical exertion. Sport is defined as an activity needing physical effort.
Right. Well, I can see like I can see like eventually society gravitated more toward, okay, let's be more inclusive. Let's sports physical. That's how it was back then. Mm-hmm. Now we get into, okay, well, what about people that are very smart but want in on that too? So they included mental along with physical as a sport. And I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying that's how society gravitated at some point. Yeah. But now chess, look how big chess is now. If you look, I mean, there are tournaments, competitions. There are hundreds, thousands of people that watch, people like Magnus Carlsen play chess, in tournaments. Like, people watch it just like football. So I'm not opposed to chess being a sport.
I'm not opposed to it, but I think it's kind of weird. I would consider more of chess being part of the spelling bee category and the word search,
Okay.
fast word search.
Not even close.
I know it sounds like an insult, but it's not. It really isn't.
I'm wounded.
No.
I am wounded.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's different layers. None are higher than the other. It's just different. That's all.
For fun, can you identify this clip?
Is it chess related?
It is.
I have no clue.
This is Chess Master for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It sounds like someone playing. It's like someone just waking up in the morning playing Seinfeld on the keyboard. It's like Seinfeld slowly waking up, in my opinion. That's what this sounds like. Accompanied by a Casio keyboard that was chucked down a flight of stairs. That's what that sounds like to me, anyway.
Oh, MIDI, whatever it's
very
called.
MIDI. Yes.
Good old days.
Good old days. Any chess? Like, did you play any chess games when you were little?
I started playing chess at 10 years old when
10?
my piano teacher was teaching me, and
Awesome.
I was actually pretty decent at it, and then I never played it again, and my brain went into gaming, and I lost all smartness, and
You lost all smartness. Duh. It's Mario. Duh.
Yeah, basically.
What?
And and so I just don't know how to play chess anymore. Like, I know how they move. I'm just not good at the tactical parts of it. I played a little bit of the Windows 95 built-in chess that it had, kind of like the solitaire that it had already built in.
Yeah.
But that was the only digital chess that I've ever played.
Okay. Fair enough. I started playing chess when I was very young, but mainly not as young as my brother. But I did play, I want to say 9, 10 roughly. My dad tried teaching me early, but I started learning with Battle Chess on the NES.
Cool.
All right. The next topic, the next sport. Let's just go ahead and play the theme. No, I didn't. Again. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is okay. So that is. Here we go. Base Wars. Base Wars was available for the NES, 1991. I baseball was my least favorite sport. It's just I find it boring. Base Wars was a game about robots, and every time you went to steal a base, or you were, let's say that it was a close call where it was one of those close calls where the person may have been safe getting to the base or maybe not. There would be a battle, and the robots would fight each other. You actually got to control the robots and try and murder the other one. One had a sword, one had a gun, and I don't remember what the other one was. But yeah, Base Wars. One of the only baseball games I played. I also played maybe Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. I didn't play the classic baseball for the NES. But baseball was never a game that I really got into. Did you play any baseball growing up or anything like that?
My dad, again, is a huge baseball fan, and I remember I actually tried to get into a baseball video game that I had for Super Nintendo. I think it was Cal Ripken Jr. Baseball, but I don't know, to be honest. But it just looks familiar. And I remember always hitting fouls. Always. Always, man. And
Strike two. Strike two.
Yeah.
Strike two.
I was,
Yeah.
in real life, I was on the softball team.
I did not know this about you.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, I
Were you
know.
the water girl? Is that why
No,
you
no,
don't
no,
want to
no,
talk
no.
about it?
Wait a second. Okay, it's an embarrassing story.
Uh-oh.
They put me on the softball team. I was about 13, 14. And I don't know, I was like out in the field. And I remember my parents were like cheering me on. And the ball was coming and I was about to catch it. It hits me right on the head. I
Ooh.
went to the hospital. And after that, I never played ball again.
Oh my god.
I was like, I got it, boing, right at my head. Oh,
Wow.
never again.
That scarred you for life. Jeez.
Yes, it did.
Wow, that's terrible. Oh.
It was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, dude.
Is that the
Yeah.
sound effect that played whenever you missed the ball? Oh.
Yeah. It was only once. Like, it's just the one thing that I really remember it, and I think it was just so fast. I was on it, I was off it.
I understand. I never you're a step up above me. I've never played baseball ever.
Oh.
Not
I-
professionally anyway.
I liked my dad got me like this big old bat and like the T-balls. I love doing that. That was fun.
Oh yeah, if it's just standing still and it's not coming
Yeah.
at you. So as long as
Exactly.
the ball doesn't fly at you, you're fine. Yeah.
My dad would play like a little bit of baseball too with me. Like he would throw the ball and I hit it, over and over. It was just a little nice way of spending time with him.
Nice.
And I always told him, I said, Dad, I know you wanted a son so you can play sports with. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I felt so bad. I always apologized for being a girl.
Oh.
And he was like, no, I love having a daughter. I'm like, okay, just keep telling yourself that.
Jeez. You came out of the womb and that sound effect played for your dad.
Yeah, poor guy.
That's terrible. All right. So depressing. All right.
I know.
Let's move on. Okay. Let's see if you get this one. This is a very popular game. This is a different sport.
Okay. Tennis.
Close. Not really.
Ping pong.
All right. How about this?
Bowser Castle from Mario.
No. That is Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the NES. Boxing. I didn't play a whole lot of boxing games, to be honest with you. My first was really there was a Atari one, I think, but I didn't play it much. Mike Tyson's Punch Out was the first game that I typically played. 1987. I don't consider it to be a good teacher, though, in learning how to play boxing. Just because, think about it this way. You're Little Mac. I think his stats were, he was like 16 or 17, weighed 100 pounds. And you're going up against guys like King Hippo, which are 500 pounds and are like 10 times taller than you. What is this teenager doing in the ring fighting these grown adults that are 10 times his size? To me, that wasn't really the ideal boxing learning tool. So eventually I got into games like Fight Night Round 2, which was on the PS2. Very R&B heavy. And then eventually I got into games like Punch Club, which is a more casual game where you grind out 3 stats. I love Punch Club. Do you have any boxing games that you played as a kid? No?
Not really. My cousin, he played a boxing game and I tried it and I didn't like it and I seen them all over in the arcades and I just skipped them.
Wasn't your big thing? Your dad didn't watch a whole lot of boxing?
Oh, he loved boxing.
Did he?
He always watched boxing, from the Spanish ones to the English ones.
What's the difference between a Spanish boxing and what is it?
I
Did every
don't
time
know.
they hit the other person, a sombrero flies into the ring? Like what?
It's almost like soccer. It's just like so intense. Like everything they do is so intense.
When a punch lands, they go, "Goal!"
Kind of. When it's time for the break and they go in their corners, oh!
Does Tropico music play in the background whenever
No,
they?
depends if they chose it when they came out of the ring.
That's awesome.
But
All right.
oh yeah, my dad was huge into boxing. I always hated boxing growing up though. I found the idea of punching someone to a pulp very abhorrent.
I agree,
So,
but that's surprising to me because the next topic that we're about to get into, well, first of all, if my brother is listening, he'll know what this is.
wrestling?
It is wrestling, but that's
Yeah.
because I clued you in.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea what the sound effect was.
Yeah, so that is pro wrestling for the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's one of the first wrestling games I played as a kid. The first wrestling games I played as a kid on the NES. I did play other games beyond that, but I think pro wrestling was the defining one. I also there was some other ones like there was I don't know if it was WWF. I think it was WWF at the time. I don't think there was WWE back then. I think it was WWF. There was WWF and there was two rival wrestling federations. One was WWF. I don't remember what the World WCW
Okay.
World Championship Wrestling. Those were the two defining wrestling games back, or not genres, but I guess the companies back then that were always rock. I liked the WWF because that was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, yeah, sounded like the Kool-Aid Man, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid. Yeah. There was $1 Million Man. Actually, here I have a picture of that.
Oh.
And music. Yep. So that was yeah. Did you play WWF Wrestling Royal Rumble? I think it was WWF Royal Rumble.
So, okay. So, my cousin, I would always go over to my cousin's house, and the first thing we would do is play WWF Raw and WWF Royal Rumble.
Never played Raw.
I hated it's almost the same thing really, but I hated the actual sport. He would watch wrestling and it would drive me up the wall. I hated wrestling, but I loved playing the game because it was a lot of fun. And
so wait, you abhor video game violence, but not real life violence?
No,
which is
I
fine.
didn't do that. I meant real life violence. I meant like the boxing in real life that my dad would watch. I hated it because he would like see people like get beaten for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that. The video games I don't care about. It's fine.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's digital people that you're hurting, not physical. Right.
Yeah, it's just pixels.
Mm-hmm.
So, but WWF Royal Rumble and the Raw one are the only reasons why I know about Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Is that Owen Hart? Yeah.
Owen Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker.
Wow.
Like
His signature, Owen Wilson's signature move.
Owen Hart. I said Owen Hart.
I know.
But I know those people only because of the WWEF Royal Rumbles and Raw that I used to play with my cousin. It was so much fun, dude. I loved hitting him with chairs. It was hilarious.
Those are the best. The wrestling games that had the stuff that you could pick up and hit the other player with. My favorite was the arcade Royal Rumble, not the video game one, but the arcade one where you could have 10 people in the ring at a time. The only thing that sucked was if you got thrown out of the ring, you had to put quarters in to get back in. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like if it's very possible to put a quarter in, run at someone, and then one of the moves was they pick you up and throw you out of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was instant disqualification.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, God, I just put a quarter in. You know, that was a thing.
I was pretty good at the game. I don't know how, but my cousin would scream at me every time I pushed him like onto the strings. What are they called? The ring
ropes.
strings. The ropes.
The strings, yes. It's just dental floss. It's just 300 things of dental floss strung across. Yes.
I would push him onto the ropes, and he would bounce back, and I'd throw him right out. It was so funny, dude. He'd get so mad at me.
It's awesome.
It was fun.
All right. I guess we'll move on to a different sport. How about this one? All right, that's fine. How about this? Okay, so
I'll guess bobsled.
Bobsled, very good. No,
Yeah.
it was what you just heard was RC Pro-Am, and that was for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Again, you're talking 1988-ish. Other worth noted games that I got into around that same time: Micro Machines for the NES. That was a lot of fun. There was also F-Zero. I would think that was the biggest racing game that I really started getting into. That was Super Nintendo 2004, and I do have a clip of that. This game is known for its wonderful music. I think that's Big Blue, if I remember correctly. Anyway, so, I got into other things, but you talk about this too. Like, what racing games did you first start playing?
Okay.
That you can remember?
Racing was my thing. I didn't care about baseball. I didn't care about basketball. I didn't care about hockey, but I loved the racing. When I went to the arcade, my parents took me to like those arcades and stuff. I would always gravitate towards all the racing games. F-Zero. I remember F-Zero. I spent so much money on it. My mom was like really upset. And
I never played it in the arcade. I didn't know that was a thing.
Really?
Yeah. It was Super Nintendo. Yeah.
They had so many racing games on the arcade. It was ridiculous. But the one that I had for Super Nintendo was Al Unser Jr. Road to the Top, which was my favorite go-kart racing game. It was amazing. I love the sound effects. I knew all the shortcuts. I knew all the glitches and the exploits I took advantage of, and I would play it all the time.
Is it a behind-the-car racing game like Test Drive and other games like it, where you look behind the car?
No.
Like you look. So is it like Mario Kart where you're looking behind, or is it a top-down, or what kind of camera?
Like F-Zero. It looks just like F-Zero.
So it's okay. All right.
Like that. But it was just so cute. You see like the little head of the person like go left to go right. It was such a cute little game, and I played it all the time. And also I liked motorcycle hang up in the arcades. Like I would go on the motorcycle and I would like, lean all
the one that
left.
tilted to the right like 90 degrees to where you fall off of it. Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Like they actually had the motorcycle in the arcade machines, and I loved it. And it was actually the first time that this was before I even rode a bicycle, but when I started riding an actual bicycle, I think I was like 9 years old when I first got one. And I remember leaning a lot, and I'm like, oh, I did this in the arcade. I can totally do this. Like, I would actually ride a bicycle like I would a motorcycle in the arcade machines.
So wait, you were in real life, you're riding a bicycle, and you're sitting there like all the way.
I would almost go all the way. It was awesome. I would make like the sharpest turns. That's how I got those 3 scars on my knee from.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. But I loved doing it. It was a lot of fun.
I see. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I played a lot of this. You don't know what it is? How about this?
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win.
Mario Kart?
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win. Yes. Super Mario Kart. Super Nintendo and 64, I think I had it for. There were multiple renditions of Mario Kart. Did you play Mario Kart?
I never had Mario Kart as a kid. I'm so sad about
Oh
that.
man, you're missing out.
I was. I never even knew about it. Like I didn't know about it growing up. And I only heard about it like when I was much, much older, which is really sad. Because it was a fun game. I liked playing it as an older person, but I'd never actually owned it.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Well,
I
well.
don't know. There's no modern day Mario's that I know of, unless we get. Maybe it might be on the Switch. I wonder if they released something for the Switch recently. Well, if we ever get a Switch cheap, we'll look. How about that? Because Mario
Sure.
Kart is a lot of fun. It is. Okay, so moving on. Let's see.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, real quick, can I
Yes.
say something?
Yes, go for it.
So, do you remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the
Yes.
old Super Nintendo games?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
there's one level where you have to be like on these space hoverboards or something, and when you race across it, it looks like the F-Zero road when it like turns and
Oh.
stuff.
Was this the what game were you talking? Is this the fighting game where it's like the arcade, or was it the
Yeah,
NES game? Okay, all right.
it was the arcade one
All right.
of Teenage. Do you even remember
Turtles
that?
in Time maybe.
Yes, Turtles in Time. You know what? I'm gonna YouTube that right now. It's really cool.
Focus, stay on
Sorry,
target.
sorry. Go ahead, go ahead.
Stay on target.
Yeah, I'm good.
Do I even
We can
have
move
that
on.
sound clip? Do I have that?
Oh man,
No,
Turtles in
no,
Time
that's
is
not
the
it.
best.
That's not it.
Do it.
No, I don't have. No. No. Oh,
Stay on target.
there we go.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. I love that escalation. All right.
I remember, oh my gosh, I know it's so off topic, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, I remember playing it at the arcades, and I played it so much and I loved it so much that my mom actually got it for me for Super Nintendo.
Really, that's the best.
Yeah.
One of the best investments your mom ever made, because that is a
Yeah.
fantastic game.
I,
It's
I,
one.
I
Of,
must,
it's one of the few turtle games that are very similar to the arcade.
I must have played, like, I beat it like a dozen times, I remember. And I was so frustrated the first few times because I didn't know how to beat certain bosses. But eventually I figured it out and I loved it. All right, sorry.
No,
Next.
you're fine. We're getting into miscellaneous territory now. Stuff that we really didn't think to talk about too much. Here's a game that my brother should know. He better know. All right, or same game. Same game. Okay, so you probably don't know.
No.
Super Dodgeball for the NES. Again, dodgeball sport, probably. We played it enough in gym class, so it's definitely a sport. Super Dodgeball. A quick story about this. This is a game that we rented from a place called West Coast Video way back before Blockbuster was a thing. There was West Coast Video, and we rented it so much that the amount of rental fees actually exceeded the value of the game itself. So
Wow.
the guy's like, you know what, you just want to buy it? And my dad's like, yeah. So we just bought it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just a dodgeball game. It was a lot of fun. Did you play any dodgeball related games?
No, I didn't even know there was any.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
I loved playing dodgeball in gym class, real life, you know.
No, understandable. Yeah, this was 1987, NES. Another miscellaneous entry. I don't know if I have. No, I don't. Okay, so I have no sound effects for this one, but it's World Cup Soccer for the NES as well. It's roughly the same time period. The characters look like those from River City Ransom, probably the same developer, company, whatever. Moving on, there's this game.
Chris Everett.
Chris Everett.
Ivan Lendl.
Ivan Lendl. Alright, So that is Chris Everett and Ivan Lendl tennis.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was one of the earlier tennis games I played. In fact, there wasn't a whole lot to this game. You could play as Chris Everett, Ivan Lendl, or a boy or a girl. That's it. Like, that was your four select. And the boy and girl obviously weren't as good, but
Okay.
You can level them up in campaign or whatever it was, career mode. Did you play any tennis games growing up?
No, I did not.
Okay. I didn't
Actually,
think so.
no. I played. Oh well, no, that might have been on the Wii. Never mind.
Wii tennis?
when I first met you, yeah.
Yeah, tennis wasn't a big thing in my house, or for that matter. This is really the only tennis game I remember playing, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a modern day tennis game to compare it to. I mean, I know how to play it now. I played a little bit in high school, but I learned how to play tennis via this game here.
Yeah.
Chris Everett, Ivan Lendl, top player tennis, NES.
I played a lot of badminton in gym, so
Gotcha.
that's it.
Another miscellaneous topic. I don't. Let's see if you can identify it via this sound clip. Good luck. If it plays. A lot of silence. Hold on. In between. Alright, good enough. So yeah, this is hard to get. Atari 2600 bowling.
Hi, bowling. Okay.
I first played bowling on the Atari 2600. The family and I actually played this together. There were some bowling games on the NES and then Super NES, but they really didn't resonate with me all that much. Then there was like Santa Elf bowling on the PC. It was a free shareware thing. But then Wii bowling, which I don't want to play the sound effect here because Nintendo's it's fairly modern. But do you have any history of bowling games that you played?
I used to play a bowling arcade thing, a bowling arcade game in the arcade machines.
Okay.
I think it was called Brunswick World Tournament of
Yes,
Champions.
Brunswick. Yes.
And I remember always trying to like really position the ball. And I remember my dad, he saw that I took an interest in bowling just from that video game, and he started taking me a lot to like this bowling family thing, shop or lounge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom would come with us. He would order me ice cream, and I would just bowl like the two-handed under bowl.
Yes.
thing.
Did you have bumpers set up?
No, I think it was just all gutter balls all the time.
Okay, because eventually they created. There were two things that bowling alleys had. It was either the blow up, like the blow up mattress thing, but it was very long and it would be in the gutter. The only thing that sucked about them is when they ran out of air, the bowling ball would get stuck on top of because think of an air mattress partially deflated, the ball would just roll into the mattress and sink and just stay there in the gutter. Then someone would have to walk along the side and get the ball because it was stuck in the gutter. Or they would have these bars come down and block it, which was the better choice. But yeah, they originally they were air mattresses, the very long air mattresses that they would put in the gutters.
No, I've never played that one. I played like the real bowling alleys.
Well, it is a real bowling alley. It's just for kids they would put those up.
Oh yeah, no, I never had those.
They also eventually introduced helper things where you'd put the ball on the thing and there's a ramp and it would just roll down the ramp and then onto the alley for kids so that they wouldn't have to swing the ball. They would just put it on top of the thing. It would roll down the ramp onto the lane and then
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I do like that they helped people like me that were younger, weren't very athletic, Anyway, any other bowling memories that you can think of aside from Brunswick bowling? Which was good. It's good. Okay, Wii bowling. I played Wii bowling, but that was I didn't play a whole lot of bowling games.
Yeah, I wish there was more bowling games. I actually like bowling a lot. It's pretty fun.
It is. That's actually the end of my list. Do you have any games that you didn't mention that you want to mention?
I remember playing in the arcades, skiing and snowboarding, Moe's Winter, something like that,
Okay.
and U.S. Gold Winter Olympic Games.
Olympic Games. I had it,
Presents.
that's cool. I had Track and Field and Track and Field 2 for the NES. That was my first introduction to Olympic Games, where it was like a mini game. There was wrestling, arm wrestling on that. It was just the person that could mash the A and B buttons faster, and then the hand would come down. There was swimming, running. Do you remember the old power pads for the NES? You'd put them on the floor. There were huge buttons that you would step on. When you get a minute, either now or in your off time, look up Nintendo NES Power Pad. It would support maybe 10 games, and you ran on it.
Oh, okay.
There were huge A buttons and B buttons, and
Yeah.
you would just run. What I would do for the Olympic events, the long jump, I
Okay.
would, because what the game does, it registers when you your feet leave the mat, and then when it touches again. It's
Okay.
their jump. So I would jump off the mat, wait like 30 seconds. My guy is still going. Like I'm at the 3 mile point. I'm like I've been jumping for 3 miles, and then before my guy hits the ground, I quickly just jump back on, and
Wow.
I've achieved the impossible. It was,
That is so hilarious.
that was Olympics for video games back then.
The power pad, that looks just like the Dance Revolution.
It was
mat.
Dance Dance Revolution before it was Dance Dance, but there was no dancing. It was just running.
Yeah.
It was just running.
I've never had an NES before. I've had a Super Nintendo, but never an NES.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's about it. I don't really have too much to say. Well, okay. Another embarrassing story.
Okay.
This one refers to dodgeball. When I was young, I was in elementary school. I think it was about 7 or 8 or something. And we were playing dodgeball. It was one of my favorite sports. I love dodgeball. And I remember one of my friends was chasing me to touch me with the ball, and I would run, and I remember looking behind me, laughing, and as soon as I looked forward, I hit the wall with my nose, and my nose was gushing blood and everything, and I was crying, and I went to the nurse's office.
So this was a you weren't looking where you were going kind of thing,
Yeah.
and you ran into a wall. Okay.
I ran right and face planted the wall, dude. I think I left a blood stain right on it to this day. It was so hard.
That had to hurt.
That's why my nose is actually a little crooked. If you can tell.
I didn't want to say anything. No, I'm
It's
kidding.
a little crooked because of that. Man, there's so many other embarrassing stories, but that was it. That's all for now.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That was lovely.
Yeah, this is my dodgeball memory. One of my last ones.
Dodgeball memories?
Or any sports memories.
A lot of it was gym class, and I hated gym in school.
Oh.
I was a math guy. I mean, I'm an accountant now for a reason.
Yeah.
So I hated gym class. Any chance I got to get out of gym and do something else, I would do it.
Yeah.
Give me chess club over gym. Yes, I recognize for you physical people out there, I totally get that it's healthy to exercise. And I know I used to exercise before my chronic conditions hit me. I used to be elliptical 45 minutes a day. I used to do all that. So I understand. I lifted weights. But now that I've got this fibromyalgia, chronic pain stuff going, and whatever else is going on with my chest, it's very difficult to run or to do any sort of physical activity without there being a lot of pain. So,
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. But I do recognize. So before you folks, get all, hey, you're gym class, you need to... Well, I didn't like gym then because of peer stuff, but I do recognize that it's healthy to exercise. Anyway.
I loved gym in elementary school. I loved it. In high school, though, it was a completely different story. I hated it in high school. I was bullied all the time, and
There was a lot of bullying on my end too. I understand.
my gym teacher actually he told me, he said I don't have to participate in any gym activities if I don't want to. And he gave me like word searches every day. So.
Nice. That is a cool gym teacher. I would have loved. I would have killed to have a gym teacher like that.
He was
Mine
so
was
nice.
just one of those tough. Get tough. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I have a small quiz for you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
a
visual. It's
0%. Oh, okay.
I gotta play the appropriate quiz music though. Hold on. Let's see here.
I have a goldfish named Peanut.
Oh, wrong one. It's this one. Double Dare. Here we go.
Oh, okay, double bear.
All right. So I'm gonna show you a picture, and you need to tell me what sport it's from.
What, like, what sport in general?
Yes, these are all
Oh.
These are all video game covers. You'll probably get it, but these are all video game covers. Okay, ready?
Covers. Oh no.
All right. So we're back to this.
Bowling.
No. Okay. Here we go.
All right. This is
Easy.
obviously figure skating.
Figure skating. Yes. This is
No, no,
bobsledding.
Is that Tom Brady?
It's the Patriots. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, yeah. It's football.
Football. Very good. Very well
The
done.
Patriots.
Let's just go with
He's on fire!
All right.
She's on fire.
Yeah. I got to add the before the he's on fire.
Yes. Oh gosh, this is volleyball.
I might actually have to look this up because I have no idea.
Funny. It looks like volleyball or soccer.
I don't have them labeled here, but I have them labeled in my folder. No. So what do you think it is? I got it.
Okay, hold on. Maybe it's tennis.
You think it's tennis?
It looks like soccer.
Soccer. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, sure.
He's on fire!
She's on fire.
Is it soccer?
It
Okay.
is soccer. Yes.
Sure.
All right. Next one.
Okay, hold on. This is definitely not baseball, for sure. This looks like rugby.
That's a good guess. That's actually a good guess. It's not it, but it's a good guess. Never in a million years will you get this.
Hold on, wait. Croquet.
It's not croquet.
Croquet. All right.
Croquet 21. Yeah. Although it's not a far cry from what it actually is.
What is he holding?
Which one?
The guy on the left. Is that a ball?
Hold on.
I wish I could see this picture.
He's not holding anything.
All right, fine.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. The X Factor, American Idol. I
Not
don't
even
know.
close!
This is handball.
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 Wait a second. What the heck is handball?
You ever played handball in gym class?
I've never
I
heard of
did.
handball.
You hit the ball against the wall and the other person. It's sort of like racquetball, but with your hand. Think racquetball, but with your hand.
We did that like in training in gym. I didn't know it was a sport. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Handball.
Handball. All right, next.
Tennis?
That is tennis. You get a...
A visor. That's the only reason why I got it, the visor. Basketball.
Basketball.
I see all the basketball.
Yes, that was difficult to gray out, I'm just saying.
Tricycling. No.
Tricycling.
The triathlon. Bicycling. Racing.
Bicycling.
I don't know.
That
Okay.
is, what is that? The Tour de France, so yes.
Yeah. I took
shakalaka!
triathlon and bicycle and turned it into tricycle, my bad.
Same thing. Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing.
Hold on, wait. Oh, I wish I could see this better. Wait, this is soccer.
It is soccer. Good
Yeah,
job.
okay.
Yeah, you can see the ball in the bottom left.
Can I?
Boom
I can't see
shakalaka!
that. I can't even see
I was
that.
yeah, okay.
I couldn't
Last
see that
one.
well. Hockey.
They're very good. That you are on fire.
He's on fire!
Those are so easy.
Well, it's difficult, okay? The only one that I was like, this is the only one she's not gonna get.
Handball.
Now,
can you imagine if I got it?
I would quit. I would quit video gaming forever.
That's funny.
Can you tell me what they all have in common?
What they all have in common?
Look at these pictures.
Yeah.
See that one?
Yeah, they all screaming with their open
Yes! Yes! Very well done. I don't get it. What it's tennis. What are you yelling at? Why?
They're
it's
celebrating.
Like someone farted.
Yes!
Like, look at the guy on the left.
Yes.
Oh my god, it stinks!
Celebrating.
I can't. Oh my god.
When-
This is Vice. This is to the Tour de France. Okay.
Listen, when you win, when you feel like a winner, you have to give a shout of victory.
I guess. For handball.
You know what would have been great if we had a rock climbing video game? Because I love
Yeah, then
to
you'd have
see
someone-
rock climbing. I love to see rock climbing, like on the Olympic stuff. Like they just deemed it an Olympic sport, I think. It's kind of cool.
What about planting? Like, you know, planting crops. Like the whole open mouth thing. Anyway,
Oh no.
I'm just saying, like just anything that you can think of. I'm just picturing with a person on the front cover with an open mouth, like.
I
The
when
most
you said planting
ridiculous
crops,
things.
I thought of like a watering can like tipped over.
No, it's a guy yelling. Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. So that concludes our quiz. Very well done. I'm very, very proud of you.
Really? So wait, if I did the same thing, do you think you could have gotten that? I'm sure you could have.
No handball, not the handball.
No handball. Yeah.
Very good. All right, so I guess we'll move on to, I guess we'll do our Patreon and Twitch thank yous. Yeah, so for those of you that support me on Patreon and Twitch, thank you so much. I'll be reading off your names and the amount you contributed, starting with Patreon people. Let's go back to the screen. There we go. All right, Ratsies pledged $135 for a lifetime of $4,445. It's amazing. Scotty R pledged $100 for a lifetime of $2,410. Brian pledged $50 for a lifetime of $850. Greg Howe pledged $10 for a lifetime of $512. Mind a Lot pledged $5 for a lifetime of $125. Rip Alpha pledged $1 for a lifetime of $54. Alyssa Barrett and Rapid Amoeba both pledged $1 for a lifetime of $13 each. On Twitch, I don't have the amount you subscribe, but I think it's the $5 level. White Knight is on a 42-month streak. Bessa702, 40 months. Rapid Amoeba, 12. Little Lily P, 10 months. Nick Beard, 50, 7 months. Nev Plays, 6 months. Archer Fangs, 1 month. And Ferna, 1 month. So thank you, everyone, for your gracious support. I do appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And if you're wondering, well,
I don't have $1,000!
you don't need $1,000 to help support me. Just $1 on Patreon. If everyone just pitched in $1, every one of my subscribers pitched in $1, I wouldn't have to work ever again. I'm just saying. Anyway, so Patreon, Twitch, all that good stuff. Please support me. Could use it. New releases, real quick. FIFA 22, $60. New World, or queuing simulator, $40. I have not played it, but I've heard horror stories. Grand Tactician, The Civil War, $45. Deathloop, $60. Gas Station Simulator, $20. Aliens Fireteam Elite was technically released back in August, but it's new to us. We recently bought it. It's $40. And Hot Wheels Unleashed, $50. Sales, Steam Hitman Gold Edition, $15. Nier Automata, $20. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, $30. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition, $21. Need for Speed Heat is $10 roughly. Green Man Gaming, I'm a affiliate with, so link in the below description. Click on it before buying anything. I'll get a small cut. Death Stranding, $22. EA sale. There's an EA sale. There's various games, so check that out. Elder Scrolls Online, $6.72, and DLCs are also on sale. The Division 2, Tom Clancy stuff, $7.83 is for the core game. Humble Bundle, also an affiliate with, link in the below description. Astroneer, $20. Satisfactory, $24. Slime Rancher, $6. Planet Zoo Deluxe, $22. X4 Foundations Collection, $48. Subnautica, $20. So those are all sales for this week. Lastly, we'll get into our Spanish sentence of the month. We can't do this without playing the appropriate sound effect, correct? So let's do...
Oh, man.
This is going to be every month. I'm sorry, folks, but this sound clip is just too good. Okay, yeah. So Pony, idly here, wrote this for me, and I have to try and translate. El Ejerces... El ajedrez es mi deporte. Todo el día, todos los días, hijo, ven a mi hermano. So, that's a person. El ajedrez, ajedrez, that's a guy. Es mi deporte. So he's being deported. So this guy is being deported. Todo el día, todos los días. So Toto is his dog, like Dorothy from that one movie that I can't remember right now. Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toto is being deported today, and then many Totos are being deported after that. Los días. Hijo, hi. So he's just saying hi. And then ven a mi hermano. Also, Pee Wee Herman is also being deported. So, if I had to, that's my guess. There's a lot of deportation going along here. In all seriousness, no. I mean, this is me just trying to recognize words. I don't even know what that is. Es mi deporte. Maybe that is deport. Todo dia is day. Todo el day, something the day, many the days, dias, days, hio, ven a mi hermano. All right, you tell me, please. I don't even know. I'm not even going to hazard.
An H is silent in Spanish, so it's hijo.
Mijo.
Yeah, like mi hijo or
Hijo,
hermano. Hermano.
All right, so please enlighten me.
It says, el ajedrez es mi deporte. Todo el día, todos los días, hijo. Ven a mi hermano.
Okay. So someone's being deported.
No.
And his dogs, his many dogs are being deported.
It says, chess is my sport. All day, every day, son. Come at me, bro.
That is correcto! Do I even have the sound effect?
Correcto!
Yes. That is correct.
I didn't even think you had chess on this list I didn't think we would be talking about chess today when I wrote that. So that was pretty hilarious.
That is awesome. Good job. That
was funny.
Beautiful.
All day, every day, son, come at me, bro.
I am all for it. I agree.
That was too funny.
I agree with this statement. All right, well, that was episode 27. I'm so glad that you guys stuck around this long. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince idly. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. Take care.